We welcome you to Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where tonight the Houston Astros continue this three-game road trip. Just a one-city stop on this road trip. Winning last night 2-0, the Astros improved to 9-2, matching their best ever start after 11 games. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. We mentioned a 2-0 victory yesterday, Blummer. That seems to be kind of the theme lately. Astros have been winning, but not scoring a lot of runs.
Yeah, eerily similar to last season when they got off to a great start. The pitching's been fantastic, but last night it was freezing cold out there. So the fact that these guys fought out 2 runs to win that ball game, still pretty impressive.
The reason the Astros have this record, despite the lack of offense, their starting five's pretty good.
Starting five has been real good. We heard Jim Crane talking about the fact that they wanted to go out and pick up another starter, and they did, and they upgraded by adding Garrett Cole to an already good starting five, and now the bullpen is deep with Colin McHugh moving out there with Brad Peacock, but the starters have been getting it done. We know on paper when we broke spring training, they had the chance to be one of the best starting rotations in all of baseball, and so far 2 times through that rotation, we have seen them be spectacular. Last 3 starts, 20 innings, no earned runs at all for these guys. They've gone out as a rotation, 82 punch-outs, 21 walks, comparable to a lot of really good starting rotations in the past.
The very first Astros rotation got out to a great start in '62. They had a 1.63 ERA after 11 games. The 18 version just 1 point back. As we get you ready for baseball tonight, Dallas Keuchel tries to carry the torch on those great starts this year as the Astros look for 2 in a row in Minnesota. We'll have the first pitch in just a little while. AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Coming up, Julia Morales will join us, and she'll talk about Jose Altuve and the amazing numbers away from home.
would love some hot chocolate too as well. We welcome you in for game 2 of this 3-game set. And Jose Altuve was the topic of a media session for AJ Hinch, the Minnesota media asking, what's it like to watch this guy play every day? AJ reminding everyone how special it is. Don't you dare take it for granted. Well, Altuve going to DH today, so he'll be spending time by the heater in between at-bats. But when it comes to his bat, he really doesn't ever need a heater, especially on the road. This MVP takes it to the next level. It's our HEB No Player Does More as we look at his numbers on the road in his last 162 games away from the home ballpark. That's 247 hits. That's a lot of hits. This guy does some major damage wherever he goes, but pretty impressive what he can do when he is in ballparks that are not his own. He gets it done. And I want to bring Jeff Blum in on this very topic. I mean, these numbers are even eye-popping for Jose Altuve. But what stands out to you, Blummer, and how is he doing it?
Thank you, Julia, and I wish I had an answer for that other than the fact that Jose Altuve is just a unique talent, but he really thrives in that gray uniform. And I'm not sure, some guys get motivated when they get on the road. They want to prove to everybody across the major leagues that they are worth every penny that they're paying them. And Jose Altuve loves having the spotlight on him. He loves being the leader, but these numbers in the last 162 road games that Jose Altuve has played in are remarkable. I'm not sure what it is that clicks in him when he gets on the road, or if it's the hotel or the room service or the beds. I'm not sure, but he goes out there and rakes 247 hits in those last 162 road games that he's played in. He's a joy to be around. Maybe he shows up to the ballpark a little bit earlier, but just a fun guy to watch, and he backs it up with those numbers on the road. It's incredible.
I think you're onto something. I think he likes room service.
I got to check his bill and see what he's ordering. I want some of that too.
He will get a chance to DH today for AJ Hinch as we get you ready for baseball on this Tuesday night. It is a Twitter Tuesday, our second of those this season. And here is your Southwest starting lineup presented by Southwest. George Springer will lead things off, and he and Alex Bregman like to see their averages get above 200. Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa and Josh Reddick are all above 300. Then you have Marwin Gonzalez, Brian McCann off to a good start, J.D. Davis with a big RBI last night, and Jake Marisnick in center field tonight for the Astros.
On the mound for the Minnesota Twins, Jake Odorizzi, ex-Tampa Bay Rays, made 2 starts already this season in 10 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 5 walks, 9 punch-outs. The opponent batting average at 184. He's a 5-pitch pitcher. He has the fastball around 90 miles an hour. He'll also cut it, likes the split finger, also can throw that slider and curveball going in there, but the walk rates are a little bit of a concern in looking at his numbers throughout the past. 2016, a 7% walk rate. 2017, a 10.1%. Already this season in 2 starts, that has jumped to 11.6% of the time he's walking hitters.
That's a lot of walks for him to allow early in the season. He said in that last start, he pitched well in Baltimore, went 6 innings of shutout baseball in the opener, pitched the season opener against the Orioles for Paul Molitor. He said in that last start in Pittsburgh, even though he grew up in Illinois, he was actually a Cardinals fan growing up, said that's the coldest game he's ever pitched in, and he just never got a feel for all his pitches. And tonight's not exactly toasty, but it's a little bit warmer than last night.
I'll take your word for it. It's still pretty darn cold out there.
Last night we started out with a game time temperature of 35. Tonight's going to be a little bit higher than that, maybe not quite 40, but George Springer is layered up just in case, as he will lead things off for the Astros. George coming in with that 182 batting average, still sitting on 1 home run, that first home run of the season. And looking to get things rolling here tonight. The Astros have won 4 of their last 5 games, but in the process they've only scored 11 runs in 5 games. There's 2.2 runs per game during this 4-1 stretch. First pitch is a called strike, and we are underway. Springer last night the only Astro to get 5 at bats. He ended up going 0 for 5. Astros only managed 7 hits in that game against the Twins, and 2 runs would be enough. Last night's first pitch game time temperature was 35. Tonight the game time temperature is 39.
Can you really tell the difference?
Yes. I don't have double socks on tonight.
That's good news, and thanks for the information.
We'll have to, I mean, You and I can't. We're not the true judges.
No.
Julie is the one out in the elements. 2-1 the count to George. It's upstairs. It's 3-1. Now tomorrow, Blummer, I'm hearing we could even see 50 degrees here in Minneapolis.
Sweltering. All I know is that everybody back in Houston that keeps tweeting at me telling me it's 82 and sunny, 75 and sunny. Enjoy it. You deserve it.
Astros will be back tomorrow night. Swing and a miss there from George. And now the count's full. Astros fan has found his winter gear.
Love of the game.
A few more fans in attendance for the first pitch tonight than there were last night. Not going to get a huge crowd this time of year with the weather the way it is, but last night we had just over 15,000. Springer seeing a lot of pitches in this first at bat. And he ends up drawing a walk. Blummer talked about it in the scouting report. Odorizzi has been walking a few more as he draws a leadoff walk to Springer. Starting defense presented by Xfinity. Ryan Lamar made the team coming out of spring training. Left-hand throwing outfielder is in left field. Byron Buxton is as good as it gets. He's the center fielder. Robbie Grossman, familiar name to Astros fans, is in right. Miguel Sano and Eduardo Escobar on left side of the infield. Brian Dozier, Joe Maurer right side of the infield, and Mitch Garber will be the catcher for Jake Odorizzi tonight. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman, like George, not off to the start he wants, but only 11 games in. You can fluctuate that batting average in a hurry with a multi-hit game.
It's really not until you get about 150 ABs into it where things start to settle down a little bit and you don't have those massive fluctuations in your batting average. But when you get off to a slow start like Alex has here, you kind of don't mind that roller coaster ride because it could 3-hit day away from being back to 300 again.
Across the board in the major leagues, we're seeing a lot of offenses that are struggling. Cleveland's another team that, despite being 500, they're barely hitting above 150 as a team coming into tonight.
It's kind of amazing to see a team hitting that low. That's tough.
So some of it you can attribute to the weather. We talked about it last night with Mike Stanton in the booth, that usually is advantage pitcher, but some of it's the Astros just haven't taken their best at bat so far this season.
Yeah, and I think the strikeout numbers point to that.
Up high from Odorizzi. And it's 2-1. Beautiful day for baseball.
For somebody.
That's what we're told. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Odorizzi will throw cutter, slider, curveball, and he throws that split change. Learned the split change from his former teammate Alex Cobb, who's now with the Orioles.
The good old splange.
Alex fouled that 2-2 pitch right back to the screen.
They fought through some cold conditions last night, scratched out that wind. I wonder if it'll change a little bit playing back-to-back days in cold. Now that they've done it, a little bit better idea, because I'm sure there's some of these younger guys really coming up through the minor leagues didn't have to fight through too much of that. Playing in some of those southern minor league towns, you don't have to worry about it.
Bregman swinging and missing. First strikeout of the night for Odorizzi. And that's out number one. Don't forget, tonight is a Twitter Tuesday. Our Twitter Tuesday theme tonight is about the Astrodome. Your memories about being in that Astrodome. And also, if you think back and remember Astros baseball under the dome, under the 8th wonder of the world, who do you envision on the mound? Twitter Tuesday. Use the hashtag Stros Tuesday and send your tweets to @ATT Sportsnet SW. Last night was the Dome Coming event. Last public event in the Astrodome. And I'll refurbish that for the next couple of years. Twitter Tuesday, your thoughts about who you think about on the mound or just memories in general about being inside that Astrodome. Here's Jose Altuve, DH tonight. Had a handful of DH starts last year. That one on the inside corner. Altuve didn't think so. Mike Estabrook's the home plate umpire. Scout has already tweeted in early on this Twitter Tuesday saying, with my dad and family, seeing the great J.R. Richard on the mound from the seats right behind the dugout, first baseline.
That would be highly entertaining. Watching the opponent swing against J.R.'s slider are always entertaining.
Just a mountain of a man coming down off that hill.
Yeah, when we talk about tilt, J.R. Richard, watching some of those replays, he created massive tilt with that tall frame that he had.
Altuve with a count of 1-1. And now it's 1-2. I've seen a little bit of a chase this year out of the Astros hitters at times.
Yeah, a little overly aggressive in some situations. There's a 1-1 fastball up out of the zone. And Altuve in the past, he's made a successful career out of chasing some bad pitches, but it's been uncharacteristic in the last 3 years that we've seen him racking up hit after hit to really expand the zone. I thought what's made him better is actually tightening that zone a little bit and forcing pitchers into it where he could get good pitches to hit.
Down and in, it's 2-2.
It's also, I would imagine, tough to try and figure out what maybe Minnesota Twin pitchers are trying to do to guys when they don't have the best command and it's cold outside.
Both these Twin starters the Astros have seen in this series are new pitchers to the Twins. Lance Lynn coming over in March. Jake Odorizzi also started the spring with another team. He was with Tampa Bay before a trade. Altuve into center field. Buxton coming on. He can't get there. Traps it. Did a nice job keeping the ball in the glove on that short hop, and Altuve has himself a base hit.
And a road base hit at that.
What?
Shocking, I know. Kind of fought this one off a little bit. You could see Garver set up inside, kind of a tailing fastball from Odorizzi. And I think off the bat, Altuve, if you asked what he was thinking as soon as that ball jumped off his bat, he'd probably assumed that Buxton was going to make that play, and he almost did.
Here's Carlos Correa. A couple of runners on, one out in the first inning. Carlos scored both of the runs last night for the Astros. Went 2 for 4 with a double and a single. On the ground towards short. Escobar to second for 1. Dozier the relay, and they get 2 on Correa. A walk, a single, 1 man left on base after the double play. We head to the bottom of the first. On the mound tonight for the Houston Astros is Dallas Keuchel.
Dallas Keuchel, 2015 Cy Young Award winner, 2 starts this season, 3.27. He's had to fight through some issues with command. The first time out against Texas, he talked about the fact that he was better on the glove side as far as command was concerned. And then we saw him back home where he pitches extremely well, kind of fight through some command on the other side. He usually does a very good job of making his pitches look like strikes and then gently tail them off the edge of the plate. See if he can get back to the original Dallas Keuchel here in Minnesota.
And we'll look at the Twins lineup today, who led off by Brian Dozier, followed by Joe Mauer. Miguel Sano hits in the 3 spot and plays 3rd. Eduardo Escobar and Robbie Grossman, a couple of switch hitters. Then Logan Morrison hitting 6th. Mitch Garver, Byron Buxton, and Ryan Lamar round out your Twins lineup. First pitch from Keuchel is a called strike on the outside corner. Dozier this year reaching base every game. He does have 4 home runs. That is tied for the American League lead with the White Sox Matt Davidson. Slow ground ball to 3rd, bare hand by Bregman, and out at first base. Alex Bregman. A great play to start this one for Dallas Keuchel.
Dallas Keuchel needs that. He creates a ton of soft contact, and it kind of got to him against Baltimore where some of those fell in for hits. But Alex Bregman right here doing a great job charging in. Fielding on the left, throwing off the right, had enough steam on it to get over there. I think Paul Molitor not thinking about replaying this one, but a phenomenal play. And credit J.D. Davis, too, for moving his feet to get in position to stretch out and get that. On our Mattress Firm Supermo, you see the foot adjustment, reach out, get it.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that about JD because you could see him kind of thinking it through and trying to figure out where to put his foot so that he could get the furthest stretch possible.
I think he might be on the bag. JD moved to the middle part of the bag. You see him going towards the baseball, which is a good job. But I think that toe is on the bag before that ball gets in the back of the glove. And that's what you're looking for at first base, is the baseball being in the back of the glove and in control. The umpires right now are thankful for this review because they get to warm their ears up.
Yeah, they like to wear those the whole game.
And listen to our broadcast. There's a good look at the ball going in the back of the glove, but the foot is on the bag.
So a great play negated on the overturn on the review. That'll go as a base hit for Brian Dozier.
So I'll take back what I said and say sometimes that soft contact can come back and be an issue for Dallas Keuchel. The only good thing is that with Dallas up there in his ground ball rate, he has the potential to get out of it with 1 pitch and a ball on the ground for a double play.
Dallas will face Joe Mauer. Mauer coming into the game batting .375. He and Eduardo Escobar tied for 2nd on the early batting average race, just trailing Robinson Cano.
Soft contact rates for Dallas Keuchel. I talked about him working off the edges, and he does create a 25% in 15 when he was Cy Young, 21%, 25. Already here in 2018 at 30% after 2 starts. That's what he does. When he's going well, he's working off the edges with a little bit of sink that can get inside to lefties or off the end of the bat like we saw with Brian Dozier.
Mauer, a patient hitter. We'll see a lot of pitches in his at bat. He's taken 2 very close pitches so far. There's one poured right down the middle for a strike. It's 2-1. Keuchel's always going to be right around the zone. Even when he was walking guys in that last start, it's not like he was missing by a lot.
Well, he didn't miss on that first pitch. He was actually questioning home plate umpire Mike Estabrook about that. Dallas needs those pitches in the bottom part of the zone to be effective.
That one's down, as you can see, 3-1. Keuchel making the 4th start of his career against the Twins. And missing ball 4. Infield single and a walk. The Twins have the first 2 runners on tonight.
Our Best in Texas Power pitch is presented by Ford. Todd was talking about how good Dallas Keuchel is being down in the zone with the movement on his pitches, and he's not missing much. When he misses and he's going well, he usually misses down out of the zone. I think it was pretty well indicated by that last AB against Joe Mauer. The thing for Dallas Keuchel also for me, and just looking at some of the numbers, is you want to see him get those first pitch strikes. If he gets first pitch strikes, he takes over control of those ABs. But here early on in the season, at 55% of the time throwing first pitch strikes, it's the first time since 2013 he's been under 60%.
Yeah, that's a number that needs to be at or above 60 for sure for him to have success. He missed on the first one to Sano. If Dallas isn't getting edges, he could be in a little bit of trouble, and he's felt there's been a couple of close ones that haven't gone his way. Sano with a 3 strikeout game last night. Justin Verlander ended up striking out Mauer and Sano, back-to-back batters in the 6th inning with 1st and 3rd and nobody out. In what was a 1-0 game at that point. One and one the count.
Brilliantly located cutter.
Kind of a reflection of how the game has changed. Sano last night with a 3 strikeout game, the 53rd of his young career. He is by far the Twins' all-time leader in that category, and he's only 24 years old. Harmon Killebrew had 43 3 strikeout games, and he played here 14 seasons.
And he hit a lot of home runs doing it too.
There's a strike. It's 2-2.
Good pitch.
Dallas didn't get that one. That was going to be a problematic first inning.
It was very similar to the swing and miss, and on our MD Anderson strike zone, just clipping that inside corner. Late movement.
That was a good call in Dallas's favor. It's 2-2 instead of 3-1 with runners on 1st and 2nd and nobody out.
Keeping Sano honest. 91. That was an elevated fastball by Dallas Keuchel's standards.
Not the coldest day Dallas has ever pitched in, but close. He pitched in 36-degree weather on opening day in Yankee Stadium a couple of years ago.
It looked miserable.
Sano tried to hold up, and he does, and now the count's full.
Right idea. Talked about that elevated fastball from Dallas, sets up the slider and the possible changeup. Didn't get him to swing on that changeup. Close.
So we'll have an action pitch here and a relatively important one early in this game. 2 runners on, nobody out. Sano with a full count. Dozier an infield hit, Mauer a walk. Over the mound, slowly hit. On comes Marwin, makes the play on Sano. In the process, both runners move along 90 feet. Dozier to 3rd, Mauer to 2nd. Quick contact not helping Dallas out too much this inning.
I was just going to say, we're 3 hitters in, and already the soft contact, you see what Dallas has to deal with. you congratulate yourself on making the pitch you want, but at the same time, it's not hit hard enough to get that double play ball behind Dallas Keuchel.
That'll bring up Eduardo Escobar. He and Maurer both carrying .375 averages into this game. Infield in. Slicing fly ball, fairly well hit. Springer on the move, and he makes the catch in fair territory. Tagging and scoring is Dozier. Over to third goes Maurer. Sac fly for Escobar. And the Twins score the first run tonight. It's 1-0.
Pretty good job of elevating. Wanted to get in on the hands of Escobar, unable to with that pitch fluttering out over the middle of the part of the plate. Great job by George Springer. Yeah, there's a little bit of fear going over into that corner. Much like Minute Maid Park, where the stands come jutting out pretty quick when you're on the hustle.
George's been playing mostly center the last couple of years, where you can roam free, but got to be a little more careful in the right field corners there. Maurer moved to third on the play. And here's Robbie Grossman. Well, that run allowed by Keuchel snaps a streak for Astros starters. They had gone 20 innings without allowing an earned run. Garrett Cole on Saturday, 7 shutout innings. Charlie Morton Sundays with 6 innings of 1 run, no earned run baseball. And then last night, Justin Verlander with 7 shutout innings. 20 innings in a row without an earned run, moved that ERA all the way down for the starters to 1.64, but a run here in the first. Former Astro Robbie Grossman.
19th pitch in the inning. That's another thing that's really jumped for Dallas Keuchel, is that pitches per inning. Usually in his career right around that 15 mark, but here early in the season averaging 18.5.
That's the reason we saw Dallas only go 5 innings in his last start. Threw 104 pitches against the Orioles in 5 innings.
You're seeing a little bit of a shift in major leagues to Dallas Keuchel. Those are the numbers we're talking about. That stretch between 14 and 17, right around that 15 pitch mark. A lot of teams being a lot more patient, trying to force Dallas back into that strike zone. He was a guy that really didn't fear pitching to contact. It's like a ninja convention in these dugouts.
Ball ripped, and it hits the umpire at third. Chad Fairchild took one squarely.
Just chested that up.
Tried to get out of the way and had no chance.
Well, the only thing ninja about him is the mask.
The good news is he's probably wearing about 3 or 4 layers tonight.
Yeah, but he knows he's going to be on a highlight reel. And as an umpire, you don't want to be on a highlight reel for getting laid out. Sorry.
This ball in the left field hit pretty well on the move, and not getting there is Reddick. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Grossman with an RBI extra base hit. He stays at second with a double. It's 2-0 Twins.
Wasn't a terrible pitch. I think Robbie Grossman just did a very good job of opening up that front hip and pulling the hands inside. It's not easy to take a pitch on that inner third cutting in on you like that and be able to shoot that left center field gap. Usually that pitch is yanked down the line.
Now Keuchel will face Logan Morrison. Morrison, despite being left-handed in the lineup tonight, Paul Molitor trying to get him going. You see his numbers with the Twins this year, off to a 1-for-23 start. He does have some success against Keuchel. Morrison is 4-for-11 with a home run. 2-0 the count. A little bit of a frustrating inning to start this one for Dallas. The opening hit was a little dribble up the third baseline. He lost Maurer on a 3-2 pitch to a walk. Even that Grossman double was well placed between Reddick and Marisnik, but off the bat, according to StatCast, just had a 34% hit probability. Two and two the count. Well, the pitch count is definitely getting elevated here in the first inning. Another full count. Dallas approaching 30 pitches in inning number 1.
It's hard to tell if Dallas is ever getting flustered out there. I know he must be under duress right now, obviously, with the pitch count going up and some of these base hits finding holes. But he continues to grab that baseball, get on the rubber, and go.
Correa right there on the ground ball by Morrison, and that'll do it for the Twins. But they scored 2 in the inning on a couple of base hits. It's 2-0.
By TXU Energy, Josh Reddick on that homestand. Exploded. Loves playing at home in front of his crowd. Turns that right field wall into his own personal turnbuckle. Climbing up on it, making great plays, and then launching baseballs over it. It was a fun homestand for him. 7 RBIs. Really leading the way for the Astros on that homestand. It's good to see Josh get going. I think right now he might want to retweet the tweet he had before he got home and say, I will get a hit, I will get a hit, but maybe change it to on the road.
Yeah, that's been the area as you see the splits early on. It's been all home production for Reddick. Not as drastic as 2017, or this year more drastic than 2017, but he still had better numbers at home last year too. Still looking for that first road hit after being shut out in that Texas series. Good to see Josh back in the lineup. Wasn't feeling great last night. Said he felt a lot better today, and AJ penciled him into the lineup. Has a 2-0 count against Jake Odorizzi as we start the second inning. Astros down 2-0. And it's 3-0. It'll be Reddick, Marwin Gonzalez, Brian McCann for the Astros in the second. Astros off to a 9-2 start. That matches their best start through 11 games. The 1972 Astros also were 9-2. '72 Astros featured an offense with Lee May, Cesar Cedeno, Doug Rader, Jimmy Wynn, Bob Watson. Up high, ball 4. Reddick draws a leadoff walk to start the second inning. Watch every out-of-market Astros game all season long on your favorite supported devices with MLB.tv. Blackout and other restrictions apply for regular season games. Visit MLB.tv for details. Here is Marwin. Got himself an opposite field double for an RBI last night in his final at bat. Going back the last 2 seasons plus last night, Marwin has hit well here at Target Field. 382 during that stretch. Takes a pitch down low. Odorizzi walking Reddick. Second straight inning. He has began the inning with a leadoff walk. On the corner, it's 1-1.
It's a lot to ask these guys to get going in this kind of weather, but Odorizzi should be a pretty good matchup. He's not coming in there blowing flames, and with the issues that he has falling behind some of these hitters at 89 coming in there with the fastball, you'd think there'd be a couple of opportunities for the Astros to barrel some baseballs up.
That's low. It's 2-1. Jake has never been an overpowering in his career. He has to hit all the quadrants to be effective and keeps hitters off balance by mixing things up, changing speeds.
Usually does a great job mixing the speeds and the movement too, because a little bit of cut, sink, changeup, or that split finger that you're talking about. We saw a curveball earlier in this game. It's all about timing too, because you're facing an Astros team that on paper puts up massive numbers, but they're in a little bit of a funk right now.
High fly ball center field. Byron Buxton doesn't have to move very far, and there's one away.
Take on today with AARP. Brian McCann coming up and against Odorizzi. 13 for 28. Oh man, almost a 1500 OPS, 7 extra base hits, and 10 ribeyes. Good guy to have in the lineup. Comfortable. You know he knows those numbers.
I saw most of those ABs, Odorizzi with the Rays and McCann with the Yankees, and there's a stretch there where McCann had a lifetime average of close to 700 against Jake.
Ooh.
Jake's actually won a few more of the battles recently, but early on, McCann absolutely owned Odorizzi. There's a called strike. At one point, he was 12 for 20 with 3 home runs, hitting .600 over his first 20 ABs against JD.
It's not just partial ownership.
That's a
That's
long
the entire
stretch.
pink slip.
Astros trying to get the offense rolling. It's been a while since we've seen this offense resemble last year. There's a high fly ball to right, but it's not even going to get to the track as holds up. Reddick bluffs the tag. Grossman brings that throw into second base. McCann got under it a little bit for the second out.
Almost looked like he was trying to get out and around that pitch and try and yank it out of here at target field.
JD Davis will get back-to-back starts against a right-hand pitcher. JD with an RBI last night. AJ puts him right back in the lineup tonight. Had hit last night, just the second of the season for JD. He's now 2 for 18. And a strike called. Sense of relief on his face after that big hit. He had been battling it a little bit at the plate this year. Kind of an unusual spring for Jake Odorizzi. The Rays had been honest with him and said that they were trying to make some moves and that he might be involved, but then he was ready to show up for spring training and nothing had happened. And then right before games started on February 17th, Odorizzi was moved to the Twins. And Jake is very happy to be here, chance to get into the postseason. Odorizzi with a count of 2-1. Ended up making the opening day start for the Twins. First career opening day start for Odorizzi. Misses outside. It's 3-1.
An interesting combination of a team that is slumping in the Houston Astros and a guy like Odorizzi who's having a tough time throwing strikes. Kind of bogs things down a little bit with that combination. Be nice in this 3-1 count to see JD Davis get a hold of a heater.
3-2.
A lot of barrels underneath baseballs from the Houston Astros here recently also.
Overall, what have you seen? Is there a collective issue?
It seems that way. I know that their guys, you know, by the end of the season, this will be a distant memory.
Sure.
But for the time being, just see some barrels getting underneath the baseballs, seeing a lot of foul balls late on pitches going towards that right field side from right-handed hitters. And to be honest, as good a fastball hitting team as they were last year, I'm a little surprised to see them not hitting some of these fastballs here early in the season.
Odorizzi walks his third in this game, and the Astros have 2 runners on with 2 outs.
This is amazing. A lot of strikeouts early on. The Astros did not strike out a lot last season. They 238 home runs and just over 1,000 strikeouts was a very good combination. But here to start early in the season, the strikeouts on the right-hand side are all looking. Those are pitches that have been taken for a called third strike. On the left-hand side, you are seeing the Astros chase a lot of tough pitches out of the zone, and that's what we're unaccustomed to seeing, is them really expand outside of this strike zone. Normally these guys are inside and they fight through these ABs and put those balls in play because they're chasing pitches in the zone, not out of the zone. So that's a little concerning here. I know it's early and we're being a little bit nitpicky, but that's just some of the observations we have.
Well, here's exactly, and I think that's what AJ was alluding to today in this media session. We're in the first 11 games of the season, so everything's going to be magnified.
Yes.
If this happened in games 72 through 83, we might not even notice that they're second in the American League in strikeouts in those 11 games. But now it's glaring because that's all we have to go off of.
And it's early, it's a small sample, but you're also using last year as a measuring stick, and those guys were so good last year at staying in the zone and putting the ball in play. Their contact rate was astronomical. They did a great job in 2 strike counts. But like you said, early in the season, a little bit smaller microscope, and there's a huge expectation on these guys too.
And the opposing pitcher has been walking some of these Astros hitters. We saw Mitchell get away with 6 walks the other day to just 1 strikeout. Brian Mitchell for San Diego got through 5 2/3 innings without allowing a run despite walking 6. Tonight we've seen Jake Odorizzi already walk 3 in the first inning and 2/3, and now he's 3-0 on Jake Marisnick. There's a pitcher's pitch, a 3-0 count. Odorizzi hits the outside corner, is 3-1.
Just tip your cap and dare him to do it again. If he makes a mistake out over the plate, you jump all over it.
Marisnick would love to crush one here. A little Jake on Jake crime in this hitter's count. He does rip one into left field for a base hit. Around third comes Reddick. He's going to score. The Astros get one of the runs back on the RBI single by Jake Marisnick. Is now 2-1.
Attaboy, Jake. That is what we like to see. Fastballs in the zone and hitters counts and getting turned on. Turning me on a little bit. It's good to see. Sinker running back, and that's what I was saying. In that 3-0 count, it's a pitcher's pitch for a strike, get 3-1. He has to make a perfect pitch again in order to get to that 3-2 count or try and get Jake out. But he made the mistake. Jake was ready for it, dropped the barrel on it.
RBI number 5 for Jake Marisnick. And here's George Springer with 2 runners on still and 2 outs.
That last swing by Jake Marisnick on our Mattress Firm Super Mode, nice and direct and quick to that baseball and then extend through it. Shooting that on a low line drive to left field.
Marisnick 5 runs batted in just 29 at bats this season. Odorizzi will check him at first. So one of the runs back after Dallas Keuchel allowed 2 runs and threw 29 pitches in the first inning. Now the Astros adding to the pitch count for Jake Odorizzi. They got last night's starter Lance Lynn out after 5 innings. George loses the helmet on that swing. It's 0-2. As you can see with Odorizzi, and also you may have noticed with Keuchel in the first inning as well, pitchers allowed to blow into that pitching hand on this cold night. Normal conditions, have to step away from the mound if you were going to do that. George reaching out and staying alive.
George continuing to fight. Just got to stay on those pitches on the outside corner.
Three is covering up 1. So they are just working George over on that same area outside. This Pastime. He chases a pitch down low, and that'll do it for the Astros. But Houston gets one back on the RBI single by Jake Marisnick. It's now a 2-1 game.
Josh Reddick back in the lineup. We ask you, what's your favorite Reddick memory with the Stros? The careless whisper walk up, Ric Flair strut for ring, American flag Speedo. I said that so seriously too. Or you can write in something else. Had an incredible game the other night. 2 home runs at the Grand Slam. The Speedo even made the White House speech, didn't it? Didn't AJ say that while he was next to the president?
I was not sure. Maybe he donated it to the Smithsonian Institute while he was up there.
He said that the Speedo probably won't return, but there's something else he's thinking about doing for this year.
It's good to win, because then you get really creative in your celebrations.
Right, yeah, Reddick, he's always got something up his sleeve, too. Always thinking.
We've had some good ones over the year. Colby Rasmus was highly entertaining in the celebrations, and then now it's Josh Reddick.
Ball hit hard for a base hit. Mitch Garber is single into center field. There'll be a leadoff base runner for the Twins in the bottom half of the second inning. Yeah, you can choose a lot of different sides of the Josh Reddick personality. The Ric Flair woo, I guess that could count as part of the strut when he got the ring, if you want to vote for that. Here's Byron Buxton. He's become pretty popular at Minute Maid Park.
You see fans doing it on the concourse up to get a beverage. The strut?
No, the woo.
Oh, the woo. The woo is very popular.
Yeah, the woo. I think if you want to vote for that, I think you have to include that in the B category, because there's no separate category for just the woo. I think it's all Ric Flair themed actions from Josh. Want to know to Byron Buxton. I'm almost afraid to ask Julia how she's doing, because last night she looked so comfortable. I almost don't want to jinx it. Is tonight pretty solid, Julia?
Sorry, I'm trying to get my mic out from under the 7 blankets.
Okay.
No, it's good.
You're comfortable again?
For now.
Okay.
It does feel colder today than it did yesterday. Some of the players said that they were going to wear those masks. Maybe that didn't yesterday. They were going to put those on for tonight's game.
Yeah, we have more masked than unmasked players.
Yeah.
I think JD Davis is not masked. Everybody else in the field, other than the catcher, I think, is wearing those hoodies. JD going with the little, Well, he has the hoodie, but he's not even attempting to wear it. Bregman, of course, masked man at third.
George Springer told me today it does not matter where you are from, you never get used to the cold. Actually got an entire lecture on it.
I was there for that. It was pretty good.
Plummer witnessed it.
Yep.
So, University of Connecticut, growing up that area does not matter.
Well, it's similar to you going to Syracuse University. You didn't do it by choice. You did it for a purpose, and then you got the heck out.
No doubt.
You evacuated.
I vowed I would never live where I needed to scrape my windshield from ice again. 2-2 pitch misses. It's 3-2.
Springer's family makes lots of trips down to Houston. We see them a lot at the games, but Springer even found himself living with some different guys in the off season just so he wasn't living up north. He enjoyed being close to Kissimmee where they used to be for spring training. I'm just trying to stay in the warm weather.
A lot easier to work out in the warm climate. There's George with the mask. We saw Altuve with the mask most of the game last night, and then he kind of got rid of it after that one pop-up when it looked like it had impacted him.
Yeah, it really did look like it affected him on that pop-up. So much so that he was calling it and removing the mask as he was trying to make the play.
3-2, Buxton battling Keuchel.
Yeah.
Slow ground ball. They had the shift on. Marwin had a long way to go, and with Buxton's speed, no chance to make the play. Buxton, the fastest American leaguer on the StatCast Sprint leaderboard. And he has himself an infield hit.
That was just a check swing base hit. And with the shift on and the speed of Buxton, no shot for Marwin coming across. It's getting down the line quick.
Said fastest American leaguer. He and Billy Hamilton tied for the fastest in the major leagues. It's good company.
Yeah, it is.
Here's Ryan Lamar. Dallas has been pitching with runners on base the entire night. Lamar making this team in spring training, started the year with a 4 for 6. Facing mostly left-handed pitching. Lamar has seen his share of time in the AL West with different organizations. Dallas wanted this pitch.
That is Dallas's strike zone.
But early on, it has not been Mike Estabrook's strike zone. Now it's 1-1. Lamar started last year in the Angels organization, moved to the A's, spent most of the year at AAA. Got 7 at-bats with Oakland. That's a strike. 1-2 the count.
Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. Could have been.
Hitting some corners. Swing and a miss. Lamar goes down swinging. First strikeout for Keuchel. 1 out in the second.
Second baseman number 2, Ryan Melcher.
Good job by Dallas battling back.
With that strikeout, Dallas now has 800 strikeouts in his career. Back to the top of the order, Brian Dozier. Dozier hit a soft little ground ball that Bregman looked like he made a great play for the first out of the inning. But upon review, the play was overturned and Dozier had an infield hit. He would come around to score the first Twins run. 2-0 the count to Dozier.
I'd be willing to bet if you took away Robbie Grossman's double, the other 3 hits probably don't even go over 100 feet as far as distance traveled from barrel to ground. But they've turned into 3 hits and 2 runs.
Yeah, it has not been a night of high exit velocity for the Twins, but they've had a couple of ground infield hits, Buxton and Dozier. Now Dallas is down to the count 3-0. Dallas throwing a lot of pitches on this cool evening. He's approaching 50 pitches already in the second inning. Four-pitch walk.
As you enjoy a cold one, look forward to the Miller Lite Hold True moment later in tonight's game.
As Brent Strom was coming out to talk to Dallas Keuchel, Paul Molitor also came out of the Twins dugout to have a word with the home plate umpire Mike Estabrook.
Any guesses?
Possibly about during the shift if Marwin's possibly getting in the batter's eye of the hitter. I'm not sure. Or the umpire's positioning possibly. Same reason. Because he kept pointing out to second base. Whatever he had to say didn't take very long, and now Joe Mauer will bat with the bases loaded.
Probably still complaining about that home run being foul in the 9th inning last night. It was a curious challenge by Paul Molitor.
Mauer walked his first time up. Dallas starts him off with a breaking ball for his strike. 0-1. Mauer versus Keuchel, 1 for 7 in his career, but has drawn 4 walks.
Again, Keuchel just a ground ball away from getting out of damage.
'50th pitch of the night for Dallas. Misses outside, 1-1.
Great pitch. No chase from very good hitter in Joe Mauer. Not the ratio you want to see from Dallas Keuchel with 28 strikes, 22 balls.
Two and 1 the count. Keuchel's made 3 starts against the Twins. Last one in Minnesota came in 2014. Nowhere to go. Bases loaded, 1 out. Keuchel with a 2-1 count on Joe Mauer. 3-1. Mauer has enough confidence as a hitter in this 3-1 count that unless this is middle, he might take, knowing he'll still get another opportunity at 3-2.
And again, Dallas not missing wildly, staying down in the zone.
Inside, ball 4. Mauer draws the walk. Bases loaded walk, forces in a run. It's now 3-1.
Got action. Colin McHugh out there in the Astros bullpen getting loose. Pitch count rising. Damage on the bases for Dallas Keuchel. Would love a nice firm 2-hop ground ball to somebody in that infield to be able to roll up a double play.
Miguel Sano, the batter, couple of walks, back-to-back batters, 3 walks in the game, 4 hits allowed by Keuchel, and now Miguel Sano. Fires the changeup down to the count 0-1.
Yeah, it was a good pitch selection for Dallas. Good execution, too. It's one thing to know what you want to throw, but to actually execute it right there in a situation where you've got a young hitter at home plate with ducks on the pond, and he wants to make a statement.
Grounded foul. Now Dallas ahead 0-2. First pitch strikes have been an issue tonight. No chase from Sano on that high fastball. It's 1-2. Sano grounded out his first time up. Dallas has faced 11 batters tonight, and 7 of them have reached base. That'll be foul. Fielded by Gene Glenn, the third base coach. Well, Colin McHugh may be called on earlier than expected tonight. Even if Dallas wiggles off the hook in this inning, he's thrown a lot of pitches. It would be surprising if he could go more than 5 innings. Probably take 5 right now after 57 pitches and 4 outs. This one in the dirt.
Looked like Brent Strom was looking at the hitting coach Dave Hudgens going, "What are you doing with my phone, man?"
Didn't it? That was a great shot.
Yeah, he did.
2-2, and he goes around. Mike Estabrook, the home plate umpire, makes the call himself. That is a huge strikeout for Dallas, second out of the inning.
Sano couldn't handle it. Had to swing the bat. Got to show a lot of patience if you're an RBI power type in a situation where the bases are loaded and you have an opportunity to really make a dent in this game. Got to show a little more patience, zone up. But a good job by Dallas Keuchel and Brian McCann getting together to realize they've got an aggressive hitter at home.
So now Dallas can see his way through if he can get Eduardo Escobar. There's strike 1. I think the reason Hudgy took the call instead of Strami is that Hudgens had a baseball hat on and Strami had the ski cap.
Tough to hear through that thing.
But you're right, it was a look of, hey, that's my job.
Yeah, what are you doing on my phone?
Oh, to the count.
Or it was, I said no anchovies.
There's Brent Strom. Oh, 2 count for Dallas. Ground ball. Bregman cuts it off. Flips to second to Marwin covering, and that'll do it for the Twins. Bases left loaded. Astros give up 1. Down 2, 3-1.
best in all of baseball, chasing down fly balls and keeping runners from scoring and keeping them from getting hits. Lamar out there in left, still being tested. Young outfielder. We're going to put him in that good zone for the time being. And Robbie Grossman is literally good enough to just be a flat line as far as outs above average. He plays at an even 0 out there in right field, which is a pretty good number. If you're above that 0 mark, you're a very good outfielder. Just to give you an idea, Buxton is a good 25, 29, plus 29 over Robbie Grossman.
And plus 8 over the rest of the league. Nobody even close to him. And the numbers he's put up in center field. Here's Alex Bregman leading off. Astros have to feel pretty good about only being down 3-1.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of work, and the pitch count is up against Dallas Keuchel, but again, they are still within striking range. And when you're here in Minnesota, that striking range could be a pretty big number.
Yeah. 8-2 going into the 8th on Memorial Day last year.
I'd like to go down there and just keep reminding these guys, this is where you guys did an unbelievable job of coming back and scoring a ton of runs.
Jake Odorizzi begins his 3rd inning of work. Odorizzi has allowed 2 hits. He's also walked 3. Both pitchers have struggled with their command tonight. And the easy answer, you would think, is it's a little tough with the cold weather. Gripping baseballs is not the easiest thing to do. They asked Lance Lynn about that last night. Like, hey, maybe part of your control problem was due to the cold weather, because he walked 4 and 5 innings, and he said, oh, the other guy got through 7. So he didn't want to use that as the reason. But both pitchers really struggling to throw the quality strike they would like. It's 3-1.
A lot of hitters counts for the Houston Astros.
I'm not sure where that pitch was, but Mike Estabrook didn't like it as a strike, and that's ball 4. Pitch 2 looked pretty good. Pitch 5.
Wow.
It's been on both sides. Dallas hasn't gotten the low strike, and now Odorizzi not getting the high strike in that at bat.
Yeah, the strike zone resembling more of a mail slot than an actual strike zone.
Here's Jose Altuve. Altuve has one of the 2 hits for the Astros. Last year, Altuve DH'd 3 games. Ground ball sharply hit off Sano. Sano recovers the throw in time, barely getting Altuve. To second goes Bregman.
That ball was smoked. Sano playing in on Jose Altuve. And he got up close and personal with that baseball in a hurry. Altuve turning on it a 1 hop. It was a great job by Sano just to knock it down. But to be able to recover and get the speedy Altuve going down to first, it was a bang-bang play. 98.2 miles an hour off the bat.
Here's Carlos Correa. Breaking ball backs Carlos off the plate.
Good fundamental for kids at home watching too is, number 1, hustle through the bag, as we see Jose Altuve on our Mattress Firm Supermo punched out, but Sano didn't panic, went after that baseball with the bare hand. And that's a big key when you're playing the infield. You knock the ball down, don't panic, go after that baseball with the bare hand so that you can come up quickly and make a strong throw.
Outside to Correa. Worst part about the night for Altuve, when you just barely get thrown out on a ground ball, is now you don't get to go on the field. He'll be in that dugout for a while.
He's hollering at Miguel Sano right now going, are you kidding me? Cold night like this, get out of the way.
Sano's a big boy over there.
Yeah, it's tough to get around him.
Correa chases that change up. It's 1-2. Carlos bounced into a double play his first time up. pop up. First base side, Joe Mauer. That's 2 outs.
Be on the lookout for all the exciting promotions coming to Minute Maid Park in April, including Friday night fireworks, Dollar Dog Tuesdays, and Astros Champions Weekend. For more info, visit astros.com/promotions.
Here's Josh Reddick. Reddick walked and scored the Astros' only run. Came in on an RBI by Jake Marisnick.
Got a special note from Brent Strom before the game, and he asked me to wish a happy birthday to Gertrude Greenfield. She is turning 100 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Gertrude. Her husband played for the Green Bay Packers.
Happy 100. That's a special birthday.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
1-1 the count.
Big Jose Altuve fan. That makes a lot of us.
Yep. Spans the generations. Odorizzi not exactly with a good pitch count in order right now. He's throwing his 60th pitch in the 3rd inning. So he's 20 pitches per inning, and now added to that total with a 2-1 count on Josh Reddick. Dallas is up to 62 pitches through 2, and Odorizzi now over 60 pitches in the 3rd. So we may see both bullpens get extended work tonight. Outside, ball 3. It's 3-1. This is becoming a Brian Mitchell-like performance, in that we're seeing a lot of walks but not a lot of damage done against Odorizzi. That's now 5 walks in the first 3 innings. Mitchell spread his 6 walks out over 5 2/3 innings. So far, just one of those walks have come around to score.
Any other day, you'd expect the impending doom of this offense to start unleashing on Odorizzi's efforts out there, especially with as many hitters counts as we're seeing with guys on base. But this cold weather has just numbed Astros bats.
The cold weather and the small strike zone have been a bad combination for tonight's starters. Marwin Gonzalez, that's a strike. Gets the breaking ball over. Marwin flied out to center field his first time up.
Jake has a hit today with a runner in scoring position. And after, or thus far into the game, they're 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. And on the season, they're 21 for 96 now.
0-2 the count. That doesn't sound like an Astros-like number.
No, not at all. They feasted on pitching by adding walks and hits, timely hitting. That's how they accrued so many runs.
You can see the reason why the crowd is having trouble making a lot of noise tonight. The guy behind home plate was cheering, but wearing the gloves, it's muted.
It's got suppressed applause out there with the gloves on. Silencers.
Silencers. Marwin down 0-2. Popped up. The shortstop, Escobar, drifts out, makes the play, and that'll do it for the Astros. 2 walks, 2 men left on base. We're through 2.5 in a 3-1 game. to take a look at all his starts with the Astros.
They've been good ones so far this season in 3 starts, 23 punch-outs for Justin Verlander. He came out of that 6th inning. We had 98 pitches, had a conversation with A.J. Hinch and said, I've still got plenty more in the tank. Went out there and gave the Astros 7 strong shutout innings.
Showed a little emotion on the mound. There's the Altuve play with the mask being pulled down that we talked about. A little let's go as he leaves the mound after 7 shutout innings when Altuve caught that pop-up. Verlander and Charlie Morton. Garrett Cole, they had a string of 20 consecutive innings without allowing an earned run coming into tonight. But then the Twins got Dallas for 2 in the first. This inning starts with a ground ball off the bat of Robbie Grossman. Alex Bregman makes the play, so Dallas needs a low pitch inning somewhere along the line, and he starts out this inning with a ground ball on 1 pitch. Julie, what else do you have for us on Verlander?
Well, Brian McCann catching Verlander last night, of course, catching Keuchel tonight. Talked a little bit about just what, not Verlander, but all these guys have done and how much fun he's having catching these guys and being in these meetings with these guys. He says just such uncomfortable at bats for the other teams and for the other hitters. We've got the power, we've got the stuff, we've got guys that can come in from the bullpen with the bases loaded and 1 out and get out of it. So it's just having a really good time, and he knows from experience working with some really good starting pitchers back in his day with the Braves. Taking the experience he has from there, bringing it to the pitchers here, which, you know, they don't need a lot of help because of what they're doing, but these guys like to talk to each other. There's just such a good relationship and rapport with McCann, Stassi, and all of these arms.
Yeah, Brian, a young catcher with the Braves, learning from some of their pitchers like Tim Hudson and John Smoltz. Now a young Max Stassi for his first full season in the major leagues. What a quintet of arms he has to get to catch. Hasn't caught them all yet, as Max has only made a handful of starts. McCann's had the majority of the starts, but fun time for Max Stassi to learn from the best as well. Mitch Garver, the batter. Logan Morrison picked up a 1-out base hit, just his 2nd hit as a Twin. He's now 2 for 25. Garver singled his first time up and scored a run. Pulls this one foul. Dallas ahead 0-2. Dallas with a fresh inning. We saw Colin McHugh warming up in the 2nd when Dallas had the bases loaded. He was able to get through that with a strikeout and a ground out, only allowing the 1 run. Bounces in there, and it's 1-2. Dallas has 2 strikeouts so far. He has walked 3 and allowed 5 Twins hits.
Interesting number, 30 fastballs that Dallas Keuchel has thrown. Only 1's been a swinging strike, only 6 called a strike. 30 fastballs, 31 now. 7 of them have been for a strike.
Strike percentage just below 60% overall. That one's slicing, long run for George, but he doesn't need to keep running because that's out of play. Garver last year 46 at bats for the Twins after making his debut in mid-August. Called third strike. Keuchel freezes Garver for strikeout number 3 in the game, second out of the inning.
Good job by Dallas. Elevated, and so many cut fastballs and sliders down and in and inside to right-handed hitters. Kind of locked up Garver by keeping that one just straight. Just a standard four-seam fastball on that inner third that stayed right there.
Now Keuchel facing Byron Buxton. Ground ball to short. Dallas needed a low pitch inning and he gets one. Leaves through 3 with 71 pitches, but only needed 9 in the third inning.
Than ever before by downloading the new AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit attsportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. I can actually smell those by just watching that video. The mini donuts.
Is that live?
It's open today, by the way.
Oh.
But before we talk more donuts, I did, you guys were talking about the offense. We're hoping they can get it going even on this cold night. It just kind of takes one big inning for this group, and we know what they can do. We've seen it in this ballpark before as well. But AJ talking, just saying that this team needs to stay inside the strike zone right now. The strikeouts are too many of them right now. However, like Todd said, it's still very early. But a little more zone control would be nice for this group as they try to get something going.
I think that graphic that Blummer talked about earlier was very good evidence of what the problem has been, as Brian McCann pops up to third for the first out of this 4th inning. Blummer's eyes just lit up when you saw those mini donuts.
Yeah, they did. I was incredibly excited about it. They could add a little more insulation to what I'm working with. I'm with Julia though. As soon as that picture came on camera, I could smell them too. Smell of runs.
Here's J.D. Davis. Was that the food item when they were down 8-2?
Yeah, they're so good.
And then they won 16-8.
Yeah, we were all depressed up here. Julia brought us a bucket of donuts. We started to have a couple and had some fun. And hey, base hit the other way for J.D. Davis.
J.D. hits in back-to-back games. Now a single in the right after he walked his first time up. J.D., who has not had a chance to play a whole lot since spring training when he was red hot. Good to see him get on base for now 3 of the last 4 times.
Yeah, you and I were kind of commiserating, going, man, what a rough day for the Astros, but at least we have donuts. And then it just turned into run after run after run for the Houston Astros.
We'll see if just showing them will get this offense rolling. Jake Marisnik is the batter. Marisnik singled home the only run for Houston, and he's around the bunt. Bunts a pitch that was headed towards his head, and bunts it foul.
Wanted to bunt for a hit, and then he bunted for self-defense. It's not a good feeling.
Nope.
That was coming right at his forehead.
Sano a little closer. He's now even with the bag, maybe even a half step in front of the bag. Jake swinging down to the count 0-2. With the J.D. Davis hit, Astros have 3 hits now to go along with 5 walks issued by Jake Odorizzi in the first 3 innings. Down low, it's 1-2. Astros coming into this game with a 9-2 record, despite the fact that their offense hasn't clicked yet. They are a game ahead of the Los Angeles Angels, who are 8-3. Only one team in the American League with a better record, the Boston Red Sox, coming in at 8-1. They're comfortably in front tonight at Fenway Park, leading the Yankees 14-1 in the 7th inning.
Wow.
That's a statement early. Swing and a miss. We've had a lot of responses on our Twitter Tuesday, which is about your favorite memories of the Astrodome and who you think of on the mound when you think of games in the Dome. And an Astros buddy getting to be on the field to meet the players. A lot of pictures have been sent.
Good pictures too, yeah.
We have seen some great pictures. My memory of an Astros pitcher on the mound is Don Wilson. He was with my dad and brothers, and Wilson threw a no-hitter at the Astrodome, striking out Hank Aaron for the final out. That's a memory.
That's kind of cool.
Here's George Springer. And one of those nights, just like last Twitter Tuesday, where it's hard to keep up.
Oh, fans are into it. They have done a great job of staying interactive with us. Watching these Astro ball games, we always appreciate it.
Springer down to the count 0-2. George has walked and struck out.
Last time Nolan Ryan pitched at the Astrodome. Mike Scott's a good one too. He had some great games in that Astrodome.
To Sano at third. Sidearms across in time to get Springer. And the Astros are out in the 4th. 1 hit, 1 man left on base. Twins leading 3-1. Nissan. Who am I tonight? Talking about my generation player of the year, and he spells relief. If you have a guess on Name That Astro presented by Nissan, you can send it to @ATT Sportsnet SW, along with all your favorite Astrodome memories on this Twitter Tuesday. On we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Number 9 hitter Ryan Lamar leading things off. And he chops one foul. Dallas Keuchel only needed 9 pitches to get through the 4th. He starts this inning with 71 pitches. No bullpen action for the last couple of innings. So Dallas, after a struggle early in this game, trying to lock it in and keep this game close. 1-1 the count. That no-hitter that we saw on Twitter Tuesday last inning, thrown by Don Wilson against the Braves, was in 1967. Wilson will also throw one against the Reds in 1969. That one was on the road. 11 no-hitters by Astros pitchers through the years. Bounces in there. 2-2 the count. Saw Randy Johnson get a base hit over second base. Astros versus Dodgers in 1999 on a Sunday afternoon. That's the last game at the Dome. Swing and a miss. Keuchel picks up his 4th strikeout, and there's one away in the 4th. Mike Scott's no-hitter, watching the scoreboard light up on a non-stop loop.
NLS champs on that scoreboard. It was a big night.
That was huge. September 25, 1986 against the Giants. Alan Ashby behind the dish for that one.
Remember Ash talking about that, and we'd watch the replay of that 86 NL championship game where he threw the no-hitter, and he said the worst pitch he threw all night was the last pitch to Will Clark.
Really?
And we'd watch the replay, and you focus in on the strike zone a little bit, and it just looked like a hanging changeup right over the middle of the plate. But he was throwing so good all night long that all Will Clark could do, he was anticipating nasty and got a nice pitch to hit and rolled it over.
Clinching the NL West. 0-2, Keuchel ahead of Brian Dozier. I saw one of the 11 no-hitters in the Dome. As a visiting broadcaster when the Mets were in town, the late Darryl Kyle's no-hitter, 1993 season. And I may have been there for Don Wilson's, although I have no memory of it. I was like 18 months old at the time.
You were too busy playing with the seats.
Yeah, there you go. A lot of fans sent me pictures of those seats that they have at their homes right now.
They all have the same memory,
yeah,
right?
And they still spring back.
They invite you over to
I might
reminisce a little bit.
I may need to tap into that inner 3-year-old.
Yep.
That used to spend the innings like 3 through 5 just pounding that seat and watching it flip back up. 1-2 the count to Dozier. Inside it's 2-2. It's funny, it's such a iconic building, not only in the city of Houston, but throughout the country and throughout the world. The 8th wonder of the world, it was dubbed. Longtime broadcasters ask about the Astrodome. Dick Bremer came over today into our booth asking about the plans for the Dome like it's an old friend. Hey, how's the Dome doing? What are the plans? What are they moving forward with? And so many memories, football and baseball, and rodeos and concerts and everything else that happened in the Dome. Even though they're changing it over a little bit and won't be open to the public for a while. Hopefully some new memories are built when it reopens in a couple of years. 3-2 the count to Dozier. 1 out in the 4th. Keuchel misses, ball 4. He has now walked Dozier twice. Bryant reaching base all 3 times. An infield hit, 2 walks. Rhonda says she has 2 favorite Astrodome memories. Mike Scott's no-hitter, clinching the NL West in '86, and her dad got to throw out the first pitch in the '80s.
Not too bad, he got on the bump.
Jose Lima tossing souvenirs to fans all around the ballpark from a huge duffel bag. And Baggy, 3 home runs in 1 game.
How about that? $3 center field seats.
We are going down memory lane with a lot of our viewers tonight. 0-1 the count. Keuchel facing Joe Mauer. Keuchel has walked Dozier twice. He's also walked Mauer twice. Dallas has 4 walks in the game, all to the first 2 hitters in the lineup. One and 1 the count.
Four walks in this game. Dallas coming in after those first 2 starts had 5 walks total.
Back-to-back starts with 4 walks allowed.
That was really a number that jumped out on Dallas Keuchel's ledger the second half of the season last year. Pre-All-Star, 9-0, 1.67 ERA. The batting average against at 183. And in 11 starts, he had 18 walks before the All-Star game. After the All-Star game, also had that neck injury, was on the DL a couple of times, but in 12 starts had 29 walks. Jumped a little bit.
Yeah, it's a pretty big jump for Dallas. Well, you saw the pitches per inning go up as the season went along. And tonight he'll have a high pitches per inning total. Almost 6 strikeouts per 9, but over 4 walks per 9. That is not the strikeout to walk ratio you're looking for early in the season or at any point in the season. Mauer stays alive.
And again, small sample size, only the 3rd start of the season for Dallas Keuchel, but coming in after those first 2 starts. Last season, he was at 67.3% as far as a ground ball percentage. Through the first 2 starts, he was at 57%. Those numbers can always adjust, much like hitters' batting averages can fluctuate greatly here early in the season.
There's a breaking ball for a called 3rd strike. Freezes Mauer and picks up his 5th strikeout, 2nd of the inning.
Come out to Minute Maid Park this Friday, April 13th, to see the best fireworks show in town, presented by Occidental Petroleum. This week's fireworks will be synced to country-themed music. Visit Astros.com/Friday nights for tickets. It's a small animal on that guy's head. Barely notice it.
Miguel Sano bats with 2 outs. Sano grounded out and struck out. Should be big weekend crowds. Rangers are in town.
It's always fun to get the rival in town. Fans come out and let them know how they feel about them. A ton of Astro fans in Arlington. That was a lot of fun to watch.
That was amazing. Let's go Astros chants in Globe Life Park in Arlington. The next homestand after the Astros face the Rangers over the weekend. They'll be gone for a week, Seattle and then Chicago. Next homestand starts with the Angels. I was already trying to start to do the math today to see if Shohei Ohtani's turn would come up.
He only pitches on Sundays, apparently.
that's funny you say that, because it's hard to figure out when he's going to go again. I mean, if he goes on Friday, then he's almost definitely going to pitch in that series at Minute Maid Park. If he goes on Saturday, then he may pitch in that series at Minute Maid Park. If he doesn't pitch again until Sunday, then all bets are off. But he's only pitched once a week so far. Here's a little slow ground ball. Keuchel trying to go over and make the play. Can't field it cleanly. And Sano's going to live on the infield hit.
Just to give you an idea of how things are going for Dallas Keuchel today, a very good fielding pitcher. Just not bent over enough to make that play. And you can see him kind of chagrin at the end of this thing, understanding that it's just not his night.
I might have spoken too soon. They're going to give Dallas an error on that play.
Well, that's what I was waiting to see.
That's not normal effort, is it? He sprints off the mound. His back is to the base. He needs to field it cleanly, spin and throw.
That's a home field scorekeeper, too. Miguel Sano might have something to say about that.
Not be shocked if that gets changed. I mean, he should have fielded it, but even if he fields it, it takes a perfect play for him to spin and throw.
You know what? That looked like something you did to my golf ball last time we played.
Just accidentally
That's
stepped
messed
on
up. Way to hit it in the fairway, Blummer, and then you just smushed it right into the ground.
And I wouldn't let you take a drop.
Play it as it lies.
I needed that hole. I was down 2. 1-1 the count to Escobar. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that gets changed. I mean, it was Sano running, who's not the fleetest of foot, but that was still a not normal effort for a pitcher to hustle off the mound, make that play, spin and throw. I know Dallas is a Gold Glover, and you hope he makes plays like that, and usually he does, but that's a tough error. Escobar with a count of 1-1. Now it's 1-2. Keuchel, in his 2 starts so far this year, has thrown 99 pitches against the Rangers in Game 2, and then 104 against the Orioles on the 4th of April. Tonight he approaches 100 pitches, and the Astros get some bullpen action going. Bounces in there. McCann keeps it relatively close. No advancement for Dozier, and it's 2-2. Colin McHugh, who was warming in the 2nd inning, back up for the Astros in the bullpen. They're pretty deep, but pulled. Escobar a little quick. Stays 2-2. We had some near misses last night in a 2-0 game as you look at Colin McHugh warming up.
You look at him.
Astros were trying to preserve a 2-0 lead, and a couple of long fly balls just foul off the bats of the Twins. None more scary than Byron Buxton, who just missed tying the game with 2 outs in the 9th. Keuchel gets a swing and a miss. Brian's going to have to make the throw now as that ball gets away, and he does. That'll do it. Strikeout number 6. Keuchel strikes out 3 in the inning, and we head to the 5th in this 3-1 Twins lead.
reminiscent of the Memorial Day Massacre last year. Marwin Gonzalez picking on Rosario in right field, and then back to the postseason against the Yankees without Altuve going Oppo Taco. It is Tuesday, so why not show some of these Oppo Tacos on a Tuesday? But a beautiful job by these guys, doing a great job of letting the ball travel, getting quick to contact, and driving the baseball the other way. These guys have plenty of pop going all over the ballpark, which makes them a pleasure to watch and a threat at all times.
Three-1 game, top half of the 5th inning. Garrett Cole, used to hitting as a National League pitcher, has a bat just in case he's needed tonight. Alex Bregman leads things off and takes a pitch outside from Jake Odorizzi to start this inning. Astros have had a runner in every inning and had 2 runners or more in the first 3 innings, but have only 1 run to show for it. They have left 6. The Twins have left 7. Bregman takes a strike. It's 1-1. Alex has struck out and walked against Odorizzi, who's allowed just 3 hits, but he's walked 5. Bregman pulls through it, sends one screaming into the crowd and back out. 1-2.
I'm okay with that. Actually, to feel good for Alex. I know he yanked it foul, but it's got to be feeling good to be able to have a nice quick swing at the baseball and hit it hard. Now you just dial it back a little bit, change that gear maybe a little more up the middle, get a hanging curveball or a hanging split.
We know last year it took Alex a while to get going. Did not have any home runs in the month of April last season. So far this year, off to a 160 or 171 start with his 0 for 1 tonight. Keuchel's right on the cusp of 100 pitches. He's thrown 99 through 5. Odorizzi about to make his 80th pitch. And Bregman goes the other way. We just saw a video of guys shooting the ball the other way.
You remember a couple times last year asking me, how did you get out of a slump? What'd you do? I'd always go into the video guy and start showing montages of guys mashing. That's what we just did, and Alex answered.
There you go. Bregman, a leadoff base runner.
2 strikes, fight it off the other way. Put the ball in play with 2 strikes. Give yourself a fighting chance, but that was a nice job. A lot of times we'll see that with these guys, especially yesterday when we saw Carlos Correa shoot that double down the right field line. The ball travels a little bit more when you're going the other way, but they do a good job of being quick to that contact point, but they're also kind of staying through the middle part of the baseball.
Here's Altuve. Altuve takes a pitch up high for ball 1. Jose has singled and then grounded out on a nice play by Miguel Sano as he hit a rocket towards third. Sano still playing in tight. They always have to respect Altuve with the possibility of a bunt. Bregman leading the wrong way, and he's out. Bregman picked off of first base by Jake Odorizzi.
Alex doesn't think he's out. He was leaning, looking to get maybe a secondary. It didn't really look like he was going to steal second. Just caught leaning a little bit. Conversation in that Astros dugout on the replay. Be another good look at it on our Mattress Firm Supermo. Going to the outside corner. They're not going to review it. Call stands.
So Bregman picked off. Astros with the leadoff runner on for the first 5 innings. Now Bregman picked off by Odorizzi, and he's the first out of the inning. Up and into Altuve. He's got a 2-0 count.
Got a question for you.
Yes.
We see the oven mitt on the right hand of Alex Bregman. Is there a limit on how long you can make the oven mitt? Can you make the oven mitt maybe like about a foot and a half long and get an little extra lead?
That's a good question. I think he should look into that. It could have made him safe.
Right?
I have a question for you.
bring it.
How come Carlos Correa is never on deck when Jose Altuve's batting?
Because the heater is in the dugout.
Ah.
Yeah, just a little extension off the end of the glove, and he gets in there, wouldn't you think?
Sometimes it's tough to get the tray of cookies when they're back deep in the oven.
Right, they get tucked back in there.
Altuve a bunt. Sano was back a little bit. Altuve hit one off of Sano earlier, and now he takes advantage by bunting for a base hit.
I like it. This cold weather, hits are tough to come by for the Astros. Lay one down if he's giving it to you. Just amazing. We don't watch Jose Altuve bunt a lot, and I think that's what's most impressive about him, racking up 200-plus hit seasons, winning batting titles, winning MVPs. He doesn't go out there and raise that average by laying down a lot of bunts, but when he does, it's a really good bunt.
Altuve's second hit of the night, and the Astros have a runner on first and one out. Carlos Correa, the batter.
Carlos Correa, one of those guys that we're talking about that has power to all fields, and he's good enough to be able to evenly spread it out throughout the ballpark. 8 home runs to left, 8 to center, 8 to right field. Pretty good distribution of hits all the way around. And in talking to Carlos, he really feels that most of his power is to the opposite field.
Twins believe that because Buxton shaded slightly towards right field.
This is the swing last night that I'm talking about. A fastball up, out over the plate, going the other way, and you can see that barrel just driving right through the middle part of the baseball, rocketed the other way.
Outside, it's 1-1. Both pitchers in the upper 50s with their strike percentage. Or is he at 58%? Other way, slicing away from Grossman and into the crowd. 1-2 the count. Odorizzi making his first start as a member of the Twins at Target Field. Pitched here 3 times as a member of the Tampa Bay Rays. Two and two.
A lot of fastballs and cut fastballs, sliders on the outside corner. But you see Garver set up down the middle and almost inside it. More often than not will be that split change that we see from Odorizzi.
See if we can tell what he wants here. There's a runner on first, so they might just have the normal signs going.
Usually the split, change up. You see that many fingers down.
On the ground to short. Escobar to Dozier. A turn 2 for the second time tonight on Carlos Correa. That'll do it for the Astros in the 5th. We're halfway home. Minnesota 3 and Houston 1. AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Rooms to Go, where you get one-stop shopping plus decorating made easy. That's Rooms to Go. Bottom half of the 5th inning, temperature approaching the freezing mark. Dallas Keuchel pitching 4 innings tonight. He is going to leave the game with a high pitch count, and on comes Colin McHugh.
Last took the mound on the 6th against San Diego. He went multiple innings going 2. Gave up 1 hit, 2 runs. Had 4 punch-outs, throwing 36 pitches. Still adjusting to that bullpen move here. Probably going to pitch a couple more innings, hopefully, for the Houston Astros and A.J. Hinch to keep them in this game.
So McHugh will face the 5, 6, 7 hitters, Robbie Grossman, Logan Morrison, and Mitch Garver. What do you have for us on the former Astro, Julia?
Yeah, the Houstonian Robbie Grossman, who still lives in Cyprus, of course, came up, debuted with the Houston Astros, and still very much a part of the organization as far as keeping up with it, friends with a lot of the guys, of course trains with some of them in the offseason, but said, you know, watching them in the World Series was so cool because of all that had happened in Houston. He was hurt just like everyone else when Hurricane Harvey came through, and the devastation was so hard for him to watch. And he said, I thought watching the city rally was so incredible to see. And Jason Castro, who lived in Houston while he was a Houston Astro, echoed those same words recently.
Those guys very much watching and cheering for their old friends and teammates, and as he said, Robbie's still a resident. 1-2 the count. Just got a recent tweet directed to Julia, but we were included in it, saying from Jennifer, I think it's time for some of those mini donuts to the booth. I don't think that's a bad idea.
I think she might be onto something.
Astros could use some runs next time around, or at some point soon, down 3-1. Offense continues to struggle a little bit. Dallas ends up going 4 innings today and gives up 3 runs on 5 hits. Strike 3, Colin McHugh gets Grossman swinging as McHugh strikes out the first batter he faces.
Designated hitter, Logan Morrison.
Good heater from Colin. So it was 92 miles an hour here in the stadium gun. There it is, J-Lo, Houston. I think she's right.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting hungry too. It's been not the quickest games in the history of baseball. We're a little more than 2 hours, about 2 hours and 10 minutes in. It's the 5th inning.
It's right up Sparky's alley.
What do you mean?
He loves these long games.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind them. We don't sit here and complain about them much, but
He comes over complaining about how quick they go.
pitches away. It's 1-1. Morrison had himself a hit last time up. He's 1 for 2. One of those nights on Twitter Tuesday, Plummer. You're right. It's hard to keep up. I'm trying to see all fans' favorite memories of the Astronome. Oh, we have a 3-4.
Alex Bregman took a hike.
We didn't have that with Dallas because he's a ground ball pitcher, but now with Colin in there going to the 3-4 defense.
It was a good curveball. I thought maybe Logan went on that one, but yeah. They're going to test Logan Morrison. It's actually pretty amazing as a tactical move what it does to the mentality of the opposing team and hitter.
Two and 2. We may not be able to get all the tweets that have been sent in to us, but rest assured we will check them out after the game because there are some great pictures, some great memories, some great stories. One of them has you punching me out on a golf course.
That might be the one of the night. That was spectacular.
But we are appreciative of people on Twitter Tuesday not only following along but participating tonight. Jose Cruz and left, everybody going Cruz. How about Father's Day? with Chris Holt on the mound. Carl Everett, 2 home runs and a slam.
Wow.
Kyle's no-no against the Mets and Ryan's 4,000th strikeout. Foul ball the other way. Nobody had a chance for that one because the closest person to that foul ball would have been in the Astros dugout.
Well, you knew Chad Fairchild was going to run from it. He's already taken one off the chest.
Logan Morrison can hit foul balls there all day and nobody will have a chance to catch him.
Steady diet of breaking balls to Logan Morrison. Colin McHugh got that last punch out on a heater. 92 miles an hour. Trying to bridge that gap long enough to the back end of the bullpen for the Astros so that the offense can hopefully get going. I'm just hoping we get to do our part to encourage the offense.
We will. I feel like Julie's going to come through.
She usually does. She's very good at helping us out.
One fan's favorite memory in the Astrodome was getting to see his first brawl live. 1989 Expos versus Astros. Danny Darwin hit Spike Owen.
Dr. Death.
That's a good one. Astrodome construction, somebody sent a picture in 1963. That's going way back. 2-2 the count. And Logan staying alive against Colin McHugh. Keiko lasting 4 innings. That means he now has a career total of 999 and 2/3 innings pitched. Just 1 out shy of 1,000 for his career. And now McHugh gets a swing and a miss from Logan Morrison. 2 strikeouts to the 2 batters McHugh has faced so far tonight.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. Highest whip swing percentage this season. The Astros tied with the New York Yankees at 32%. Just behind them, the Diamondbacks, Blue Jays, and Nationals. They led Major League Baseball in 2017.
Yeah, fewer strikeouts offensively last year. This year it's been a little different story in the first 11 games. McHugh gets a called strike on Mitch Garver. Garver 1 for 2 against Keuchel.
'94?
Yep. Let it go coming out of the bullpen, Colin.
I like it. Bring it.
Colin normally around 90 miles an hour with his fastball. Pitch had a lot of movement on the curve. Or the slider.
I think Brent Strom needs to patent that slider technique, because there's a lot of guys in this Astros rotation and bullpen that have very good sliders, and a lot of it has to do with working with Brent Strom and also kind of the conversation between pitchers, how to maximize the break on that slider. They've done a very effective job with it. That was pretty filthy.
That was. Colin looking good tonight. Already has 2 strikeouts and now 2 strikes on Mitch Garver.
Dallas, if he's upstairs watching this game, is going, where was that to start the game tonight?
Neither pitcher has had much of a strike zone to work with. That's inside ball 3, another 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Let it go.
Colin's letting it eat a little bit tonight.
Speaking of letting it eat, got me all hungry thinking about donuts now.
Oh, nasty breaking ball. Colin McHugh strikes out this side. Hopefully that can spark things offensively as he gets 3 strikeouts to get through the 5th.
HOU fan NTX on Twitter to show us, and you could win a VIP experience. North Texas, April is your chance to show your spirit, so tweet now and win big. All right, we are true team players. Here I come.
Yes, you are.
Dancing with donuts.
I'm not sure who's happier, the Astros or us.
Mini donuts just for you guys.
Nice,
but you have to share.
Did you take one yet?
Not yet. I'll take this one with
Rally Donuts.
Get it started.
Last time, Blummer, you know what happened?
Oh, I do.
Memorial Day.
Let it go, boys. Let it go.
This is a mere 2-run deficit. Memorial Day, they were down 6 and came back to win 16-8. Josh Reddick against Jake Odorizzi. May not hear Blummer for a few seconds. He's enjoying the mini donuts. Same with Julia. Reddick has been on base twice with a couple of walks. Odorizzi walked 5 in the first 3 innings. Astros have 3 hits the last 2 innings. They're up to 5 hits to go along with the 5 walks.
You know what, TK?
Yep.
I think this is a bad batch.
Seriously?
Yeah, you shouldn't have any.
Oh, 1 pitch is ground to the right side. Mauer will flip to Odorizzi covering for the first out. So Reddick retired for the first time tonight. You know what I want to know? If Julia has known me on the best fan in North Texas. Is her mom eligible, or because she's an employee? I mean, her mom would definitely be one of the lead candidates, you would think, for the best Astros fan in North Texas. Do you know the rules on that, Julia?
No, but I think you might have just ruined my mom's night by saying that. She is looking up the rules right now. Oh, no.
Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Hopefully she's eligible. The Woos have made their way up to Target Field. I think the fans are wooing just to stay warm.
Woos travel.
Twins getting some bullpen action going in this 3-1 game. Odorizzi is sitting at 90 pitches right now. 92. Marwin takes a strike. Marwin is flied to center and popped to short. It's amazing the Astros are 4-1 in their last 5 games because they scored just 11 runs. Ryan Presley starts to warm up for Minnesota. Normally you score 11 runs in a 5-game set. You're looking at a possibility of 0-5 or maybe 1-4. The Astros 4-1 thanks to their pitching. Tonight just 1 run through 5. Not taking advantage of being issued 5 walks by Odorizzi in the first 3 innings. Barwin around the bunt, but he gets a curveball, and it's 1-2. Astros starting the night batting .247 as a team with a .725 OPS. There's a ball ripped, but at the second baseman, Dozier, who makes the play for out number 2.
Gosh, good swing, nothing to show for it. Marwin Gonzalez.
That was probably the hardest hit ball of the night for the Astros.
Man, that was a seed. Nice and compact, direct. Barreled up.
105.9 off the bat. And that, other than the J.D. Davis single, was the second hardest hit ball of the night for Houston. Here's Brian McCann, flied out and popped up. Twins will shift against McCann, but not playing their second baseman very deep. In fact, the third baseman turned shortstop, Miguel Sano, is deeper at short than Dozier is at second. Don't usually see that alignment. You also don't usually see 275-pound shortstop. Up and in, it's 1-2. Can goes down swinging. Odorizzi, a strong 1-2-3-6, picks up a strikeout to end it. Minnesota still leads 3-1. Our clues were this, talking about my generation, player of the year. He spells relief. Who am I? Lance McCullers Jr. Second generation Major League Baseball pitcher. His dad, Lance McCullers, 2012 high school player of the year. Came in out of the bullpen, picked up that big save in Game 7 of the ALCS. First pitch swinging is Byron Buxton, and he pops one foul. McCann doesn't see it, but it's out of play. Colin McHugh on for his second inning of work, struck out the side in the 5th inning. Showed a little extra giddy up on that fastball, averaging about 94 with the heater. That went in at 93, and McCann takes one off the mask. It's 0-2. Buxton checking in on the veteran catcher, and Mike Estabrook, even though the plate's pretty clean, decides to give it a dusting just to waste a little more time. Popped up. McCann with the mask off near the screen, and he can't quite make the play. Just beyond his reach.
He was in a tough spot.
It's in that little area where there is a space between the screens, but McCann would have no idea that he would be able to reach around the screen and go after it.
Really wasn't hit high enough for him to get over to that screen early enough. Could you have hit a pop-up in a more perfect spot to not be caught? It's pretty impressive, other than way back in the seats.
Oh, he froze him on a fastball. McHugh is looking great tonight. 4 batters, 4 strikeouts.
There's a definite fearlessness out of Colin McHugh coming out of that bullpen. 4 punch-outs in a row since coming in this game. Location has been spot on. Breaking that curveball has been amazing. And how about some of that velo?
Yeah, looking really good coming out of the bullpen. We saw him come out of the bullpen in Yankee Stadium in the playoffs, but mostly used as a starter. And Julie, he's still getting used to this new role, huh?
Yeah, I asked him what the hardest part about that transition was. Anything you're struggling with, just trying to figure out your routine, and once you get in there, how to get hot and all that. And he said, you know, that part's actually pretty easy just because of the adrenaline that you have. The hardest part for Colin, though, has been, what does he do every day? Well, you know, when you get to the park, being a starter, you know exactly what you have to do. It's all mapped out for you. And so that's been really tough for him, trying to figure out whether it's treatment, playing catch, just all of the above. I mean, what is it that you do once you show up to the park? What time do you get to the park? All of that for him has been a little more difficult, but he's figuring it out, and he said he's actually pretty comfortable down there. Games are a little different to watch from the bullpen, though.
Ball hit well the other way. That sends Reddick all the way to the edge of the track, but Josh is able to make the play, and there's 2 outs. That's a really good point. Starters are such creatures of habit. They basically have their whole routine mapped out for them the day after, the day before, second day after, second day before a start. Now McHugh has to learn a whole new routine.
Whatever the routine was before he got on the bump today, do that again.
What if it involved mini donuts?
Repeat, repeat. And I will help encourage that.
Colin also said that for him, he will never be able to be one of the guys that comes out a little later. You know, you see some of the guys who come out, and maybe your setup guy or closer will spend a little more time in the clubhouse before making their way out. And he said he'll never be that type of guy because of the anxiety he has of not knowing when he's going to pitch. That's part of just the transition for him, a little bit of the unknown and not used to having the phone ring and your name being called.
Yeah, he could come in anywhere from, you know, early in the game if a starter is getting hit around or not feeling well or possibly has some sort of injury, that he could be called on right away. So he has to be, of all the guys in the bullpen, ready the earliest, you would think. He's behind in the count 3-0 to Brian Dozier. A.J. Hinch said the biggest challenge for Colin was not being able to use all 4 of those pitches like he's used to as a starter. There's a strike.
But at the same time, using all of the 4 of those pitches as a starting pitcher, that's what you need the 4 pitches for, because you're eventually facing the lineup 2 to 3 more times. But coming out of that bullpen, you can maybe take that 4th pitch that you have that isn't so great that you use to offset the mentality of the hitter and just eliminate that and go with the 3 great pitches.
Last pitch missed just a little high. First batter that reached base against McHugh. And high's relative.
Yeah, the top part of the zone has been there, not been there.
So Dozier has walked 3 consecutive times and has been on base 4 times. Now Joe Mauer, the batter. Mauer has also walked twice and struck out. Mauer takes a pitch outside, ball 1. Astros have issued 5 walks now, 4 from Keuchel and 1 from McHugh. Odorizzi walked 5, all of them coming in the first 3 innings. 2-0. So we have a total of 10 hits in this game, 5 for the Astros, 5 for the Twins, and a total of 10 walks, 5 for each side as well.
Oof. Still plenty of game left too.
Yeah, this has not been a game that's been filled with action for sure. Some of that dead time that the commissioner is not a big fan of. There's a ball ripped past Bregman into left field. Bregman was over in the shift. And the combination of Dozier and Mauer on for the 7th time combined. Mauer is now 1 for 2. Catch all the excitement at Minute Maid Park this season with matchups against rivals like the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Rangers, and the Indians. All single game tickets are available at astros.com/tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Now McHugh, after getting 2 outs in the inning. Back-to-back base runners, Dozier a walk and Mauer a single. Now facing Miguel Sano. Up and in into Sano. It's 1-0. Sano, an infield hit reached on an error his last time up. I originally thought it was an infield hit, but they charged Dallas with an error. He's also grounded out and struck out. Keuchel has struck out, McHugh has struck out Sano 3 of the last 4 times they have matched up. There is a strike.
Talk a lot about spin rates and that slider curveball mix from Colin McHugh. You're getting various rates from 2,600 RPMs to, I think he topped out, from what I saw, 2,831. So having good snap on that curveball to create the swing and miss early. 4 punch outs early in this appearance for him.
Snapdragon 2 was the nickname he used in Players Weekend. We'll see Snapdragon 1 tomorrow. Lance McCullers Jr. gets the start. That's a strike called. It's 2-2. Swing and a miss. Colin McHugh picks up strikeout number 5 in 2 innings of work. Strands a couple. We head to the 7th. It's the Twins leading 3-1. LLC and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros LLC. On we go to the 7th inning. Astros trailing the Twins 3-1. Astros coming off a 2-0 victory last night, facing a new pitcher. Ryan Presley takes over for Jake Odorizzi.
Saw Ryan Presley last night. Gave the Minnesota Twins 1 inning, couple of punch outs. Throws hard in the mid-90s. Curveball, slider mix.
Jake Odorizzi becomes just the 2nd starter to go at least 6 innings against the Astros this year. J.D. Davis sends one to right, sending Grossman back to the track, and now he's on the track. Makes the play for out number 1. J.D. retired for the first time. Some better at bats lately from J.D. Presley, or J.D. Davis, as we look at Ryan Presley. Grossman had been the right fielder, but they've just made a defensive change where Grossman has moved over to left field, and Max Kepler comes into the game to take over in right. Ryan Lamar out of the game. Here's Jake Marisnick. He takes a called strike. There's the Houstonian now in the left field for Minnesota. Jake has the only RBI tonight for the Astros. He singled in a run in the 2nd. Pops one high in the air to right center field. Kepler and Buxton converge. It's Byron, the center fielder, who takes command. And Presley has 2 outs on 2 fly ball outs. Presley from Dallas, Texas, now facing George Springer. He'll throw mostly fastball, curveball to the right-hand hitters. He'll mix in that slider to the lefties as well. There's a fastball. George grounds one. It kind of bounces off Mauer. George is going to be safe. Mauer never looked comfortable on that play.
George praising the forces that be to allow him to get on base. Yeah, that was kind of in between for Joe Mauer. Not smoked, but hit well enough to where he had to have a pretty good jump at it, but got caught kind of in between whether to stand up or dive, and you can see him trying to play it into an angle where he could lay out and make the play. Not really an outstretched left arm to make that play, kind of alligator armed it.
Well, they're going to give George a hit on that ball. He's a 2-out base runner. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman takes a pitch down low for ball 1. Alex a single. He's also walked and struck out. Had a single the other way into right field. Strike called. It's 1-1. Astros did a lot of damage last year to the Twins bullpen. 10 of the 11 bullpen appearances resulted in runs allowed. Some new arms in the bullpen this year. Saw Addison Reed last night. Gave a new closer in Fernando Rodney. Bregman with a count of 2-1.
All right, here we go. 3-1 count for Abreg. Left hand was a little scuffed up. It almost looked like he got in a fist fight after that slide at second base yesterday. Luckily, that was the only damage that was really done to that hand was a couple of scrapes on the back of it, so he's doing just fine.
Strike called, 3-2. With 2 outs, Springer will get a head start. If Bregman can put one into the gap, Astros can cut this lead in half, down 3-1. Fly ball, shallow center. Buxton covers a lot of ground, and he will get there for the final out of the inning. 1 man left on base. 7th inning stretch time here in Minnesota at Target Field, with the Twins leading 3-1. Right now, let's send it to Bart Ennis in our Rooms to Go lounge as we head to the bottom half of the 7th.
All right, thank you guys. We hope you're all enjoying the Astros and the Twins, and we want to remind you that you have more ways than ever to watch the Astros. Download the AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or go to AT&TSportsnet.com to stream from your computer. Log in with your cable account information and you're all set. This is available to customers whose TV subscription includes AT&T Sportsnet, and it's subject to blackouts. It's a great app. I was able to use it just the other day to see the Astros and Orioles, so download it and take the Astros with you wherever you go.
Is presented to you by Toyota. And it was a defensive play by Jose Altuve to help Justin Verlander get out of that. But I don't think he makes that catch if he doesn't pull his mask down. Right? So I asked AJ about this. AJ said, yeah, he said he couldn't breathe. So he had to pull it down. He said, AJ, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't breathe.
Small
bit
detail.
of a panic. Yeah, and had to pull the mask down to make the catch. This group, they're trying to have some fun with the cold weather. It's currently 34 degrees and dropping.
Feels like
Much colder than that. And I think we're getting out of town at the right time. I'm hearing there's lots of snow coming this weekend.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're still in town this weekend, too.
The White Sox will be here, and 4 inches of snow will be here.
Hector Rondon, the new pitcher for the Astros, after 2 very good innings from Colin McHugh. White Sox are in for 4 beginning Thursday after the Astros leave town after tomorrow afternoon's game.
White Sox are playing in snowstorms this week also.
Yep, they played yesterday, delayed a little bit, and again today.
They're a little bit tougher on that south side than the north side.
I knew you were going.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Cubs get snowed out. The White Sox continue to play. Your Rays are out there fighting through the cold weather.
Yeah. There's a ball hit pretty well to right, but over there is Springer, and George makes the call on the catch. Cubs finally played a home game today. They hadn't played a home game all year. Finally had the home opener today, and the Pirates beat them 8-5.
Way to go, Cubbies. Yeah, Rondon didn't pitch in that San Diego series. Last time out there, he actually pitched pretty well against Baltimore back on April 4th, going an inning, gave up 1 hit, but he also had 2 punch-outs, throwing 15 pitches.
AJ really wanted to get him out there tonight. You don't want to see a guy go too long in between outings.
That kind of goes to a lot of the starting pitchers numbers that we've gone through. Is it kind of creates a good problem for AJ in the sense that his pitchers are going deep, and the guys he has at the back end of the bullpen to shut some of these games out have been highly effective. So there's going to be some guys getting pushed out of the situation, and unfortunately it's been Hector Rondon.
Line drive just foul. When you have 2 out of 3 starts with Cole going 7 and then Verlander going 7, and in between you have a guy named Peacock going 3 out of the bullpen, then you're right, that doesn't leave a lot of innings for everybody. 0-2 the count. Robbie Grossman facing Hector Rondon.
And we've talked to AJ. He likes what Hector Rondon brings to the table with the fastball slider. Last pitch at 96 miles an hour.
Colin McHugh was really impressive tonight in his 2 innings.
That was fun to watch.
5 strikeouts in 2 innings. Gave up a hit and a walk, but didn't allow a run. Grossman fouls that away at 95. Stays 1-2. So right now the Twins are in the midst of their 10-game homestand, which was shortened with the snow out or cold out on Sunday. But after that, they go to San Juan, Puerto Rico for a 2-game series next Tuesday and Wednesday.
That's pretty cool.
Hoping that Puerto Rico native Jose Barrios will get a chance to pitch in one of those 2 games against the Indians. Called 3rd strike. Grossman didn't think so. He goes down looking, and Hector Rondon has himself a strikeout and out number 2. 2018 Astros Buddies memberships presented by BBVA Compass are now available for kids 12 and under. Buddies receive 4 tickets to an Astros regular season game, a backpack, cap, socks, and exclusive benefits throughout the year. For just $25, visit astros.com/buddies today to sign up. Logan Morrison, the batter. Morrison 1 for 3. Had a single his 2nd time up. Takes a called strike from Rondon. It's 1-1. Keuchel for 4. He allowed the 3 runs. Colin McHugh 2 shutout innings, and now Hector Rondon. Both teams with 6 hits. Slowly hit. Rondon takes it himself, and he'll now flip to JD. Good, strong 1-2-3 inning for Hector Rondon. We head to the 8th. Still 3-1 Twins.
The Rangers this Saturday, as 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a George Springer World Series MVP bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola. For information and tickets, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. New pitcher in the ball game for the Minnesota Twins will be left-handed pitcher Zach Duke.
Duke, the 33-year-old lefty, he'll turn 34 in 8 days. Will face Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, and Josh Reddick. So far in the season, 2 2/3 innings, a lot of strikeouts and a lot of walks. 7 strikeouts and 4 walks. Allowed 3 runs in his last outing against Seattle on the 7th, so pitching for the first time in 4 days. The Astros could use a 3 spot in this game, down 3-1. Over 50% fastballs to right-hand hitters like Altuve. He'll mix in a changeup as his secondary pitch, a slider and a curve. Altuve takes a called strike. Fastball comes in around 89.
He's kind of altered his delivery a little bit, getting to that 3/4 arm slot. Why not?
Altuve bunted for a hit the other way his last time, now trying to go down the first base side.
Hurts your hands less when you bunt. But Zach Duke was a traditional over-the-top left-hander, fastball, changeup, curveball, slider. But now dropped down a little bit to that 3/4 arm slot. He'll even drop down a little bit lower sometimes on that slider.
Astros haven't had a ton of scoring threats despite Jake Odorizzi allowing 5 walks and 5 hits in 6 innings. Twins have their 3rd new left fielder in the last 3 innings. They went from Ryan Lamar to Robbie Grossman last inning, and now after Grossman batted in the bottom half of the 7th, Eddie Rosario is in there and left now. Into center, Buxton. Altuve now 2 for 4 as he flies out to center. First out in the 8th.
Some history between Zach Duke and Carlos Correa. First home run of Carlos Correa's career was on that south side against Zach Duke when he was with the White Sox, June 9th of 2015. First big league home run for Carlos.
Tough night for Correa so far. A couple of double plays and a pop-up. As the only time Correa has faced Duke in his career was that home run, his first of his career. Drop down there, delivers a strike.
Change up.
Duke last year activated from the 60-day DL on July 21st after recovering from Tommy John surgery the year before. Nice stab by Duke on a comebacker, and he makes the play to get Correa for out number 2. Julie, what do you have for us?
Well, it's time to reveal the results of tonight's Chevy Stroh poll as Josh Reddick makes his way to the plate. What was your favorite memory of Josh Reddick with the Astros? Let's see. Oh, of course. I don't know why I'm surprised here. 66% of you enjoyed the Speedo for the celebrations.
You expected that result?
Yeah, I wonder what the write-ins were. We had so many tweets coming in, it was hard to keep up with all that was being tweeted, so I'll have to check those out.
Reddick will be pinch hit for here. Evan Gaddis is announced as a pinch hitter facing the lefty Zach Duke.
And with Evan Gaddis hitting here in Minnesota, it answers a lot of questions a lot of people had on Twitter, and it was even a question I had for Evan when I got on the bus yesterday and talked to him. Are you going to use batting gloves? There's your answer.
He will never use batting gloves.
He says that he will only use them if it is excruciatingly hot outside and he can't keep the perspiration off his hands.
Cold doesn't bother him.
No. No, this
obviously. I mean, he doesn't even have the long sleeves on.
He got on the bus yesterday and he literally had a like Paul Bunyan Brawny commercial flannel on. I was like, are you kidding me?
No jacket.
No jacket, just a flannel.
2-0 to Gaddis. With all the other hitters struggling in the cold weather, maybe this is perfect for him.
Don't change who you are, Evan.
Gaddis pinch hitting for Reddick, 2 outs, nobody on. And there's a strike, it's 2-1. Three and 1 to count. Marwin Gonzalez waiting on deck.
Be a good time for a triple.
Down out of play.
Gaddis is going good. That's his kill zone. That beard high fastball gets after it.
Joe Smith warming up for the Astros. Colin McHugh and Hector Rondon have been impressive out of the Houston bullpen tonight. That one almost hits Evan on the 3-2 pitch. He may have been hit. Not sure. Either way, he's on first base. I'll bring up Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin is flied out to center, flied out to, or popped up to short, and then hit a bullet for a line drive out his last time up. There's a strike.
Interesting scenario playing out. Marwin at the dish, runner on base, and Rosario is now out in left field. Marwin's had a tendency to pick on Rosario in some big situations for big hits. Just saying.
Right out in front of the plate, Garver jumps on it, makes the throw in time to get Marwin. That'll do it for the Astros in the 8th. We head to the bottom half of the inning with the score Minnesota 3 and Houston 1.
moment. Colin McHugh coming out of that Astros bullpen in relief of good buddy and former rotation mate Dallas Keuchel. He went 2 innings. Fastball touched to 94 miles an hour. Location was perfect. He also had that slider curveball mix going. In those 2 innings, he only gave up 1 hit, walked 1 batter, and had 5 punch-outs, throwing 41 pitches. Good job by Dallas Keuchel out of that bullpen.
So the new left fielder for the Astros is Derek Fisher, taking over for Josh Reddick, who is pinch hit for. And the new pitcher is Joe Smith.
Right-hander, acquired in the offseason. He's got some back end of the bullpen outings in his career. 3 games this season. He has that 6 ERA. We last saw Joe against San Diego on the 8th, went a solid inning. Had 1 punch out, only throwing 10 pitches. Pretty efficient.
He is 3rd amongst active pitchers in games appeared. He has appeared in 701 Major League games. One of the 2 guys ahead of him is warming up in the Twins bullpen, Fernando Rodney. The other is currently on the disabled list for the Washington Nationals, Joaquin Benoit. So Smith, appearing in his 702nd game, will face the bottom 3rd of the order, Mitch Garver, Byron Buxton, and Max Kepler in the bottom half of the 8th. First 2 miss, it's 2-0. Garver has singled and scored and struck out a couple of times. Of Joe Smith's 702 appearances in his career, 42 have come against Minnesota. A lot of time with the Cleveland Indians. He has appeared more against this Minnesota Twins team than anybody else on the Astros roster. Verlander had made 35 starts against them. Tony Sipp had 41 appearances, but Sipp won't get any appearances in this series because today he was placed on the disabled list. Sipp DL'd, and James Hoyt is now active as a member of the Astros bullpen after pitching 1 game in AAA Fresno. McHugh 2 shutout innings, Rondon a shutout 7th, and now Joe Smith trying to keep the score at 3-1 and give the Astros a chance. Outside ball 4. So Smith walks the leadoff batter, Mitch Garver. Twitter Tuesday was about Astrodome memories. Jose Lima tossing out gifts to the crowd with that big duffel bag. Grandfather throwing out the first pitch to Biggio.
Notice Big with the gear on.
Last Oiler game with Derek Dawes. A lot of fans sent in their favorite Astrodome memory to us tonight on our Twitter Tuesday. Want to know the count to Byron Buxton underneath that mask? Yesterday was the dome coming. Public allowed in yesterday. The 8th wonder of the world. One and 1 the count. There is the look from yesterday's event inside the Astrodome. A lot of Astros employees, many of whom have never been inside the Astrodome, had a chance to check it out for one last time before the refurbishment. Championship trophy found its way inside the dome. This one slicing, Springer a long run, diving attempt, and George makes the play. Springer saves Joe Smith with a great diving effort.
Giving Byron Buxton a taste of his own medicine. Usually Byron's the one going out there chasing down fly balls and ruining evenings of guys, but considering the conditions, this is a phenomenal play in right field by George Springer. Super Springer. Laying out, getting that uniform dirty. Great look at it on our mattress for him, Supermo. I think I saw that was the next Strozone t-shirt. super Springer.
Nice.
Good timing on that, George.
We will have to find out what the catch probability was of that one.
Please hold.
Well, I know what the hit probability was, but that can be different than the catch probability, right?
Isn't it just 100 minus 38?
Oh, it is?
I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know. That's simple sabermetrics, but I know that it's going to be a lot lower than that because that was for me, that'll probably end up being a 4 to 5 star play.
Yeah, I think it's a little different. I think the catch probability is based on how far the guy had to run. That one seemed like a 4-star play. I want to give it close to a 5-star play, but at least 4.
I'm taking into the weather conditions.
Oh yeah, that is
the 9th inning.
This one is high, but easily playable. This is like a 1-star play. George makes it.
We'll call that the callus. Even Todd could have caught that.
That's the one where they have the fans out there trying to win pizzas for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
The George goes from a 4 or 5-star play to a 1-star play that almost anybody can make, even me. And there's 2 away. Back to the top of the order, Brian Dozier bats. Dozier hasn't seen a whole lot of strikes tonight. He has a little infield hit on a play that was overturned. Originally looked like a great play by Alex Bregman, and then 3 walks. And there's a pitch outside, ball 1. Astros last year scored 40 runs in 3 games against Minnesota. So far in this series, they've scored 3. They will be happy to get Yuli Gurriel back in that lineup on Friday. Yuli wrapping up his minor league rehab earlier today. Ended up hitting a smooth 9 for 21, which is 429 at Double-A Corpus Christi, including 4 doubles. Smith down the count 3-0. Yuli's numbers.
Strong to quite strong.
Off day tomorrow for Corpus Christi. And rather than have him play in that Hooks game Thursday and then have to get in late, get ready for Friday's game, he'll just head back to Houston and start getting ready for that weekend series against the Rangers. There is a force field around home plate when Brian Dozier bats. He has now walked in 4 straight appearances.
That is weird.
Astros pitchers have walked 6. 4 times Dozier and twice Mauer. No, 7. Garber walked to start the inning. Here is Joe Mauer. A couple of walks, a base hit, and a strikeout.
Guess who's watching the game tonight?
Julia's mom.
No, that's a given. That is it. The watch probability on that claim is about 100%.
On StatCast?
Yes. But Darren Willman, our buddy, StatCast buddy, he's watching. He said Springer with a real nice play. 4-star play called by TK. 38% catch probability. He had to cover 58 feet in 3.7 seconds.
Little looper into left field. That is a base hit. Around third comes Garber. He's going to score. Nobody covering third, so Dozier goes there. And now it's a 4-1 game on the opposite field base hit by Joe Mauer.
The patented inside-out swing of Joe Mauer. Not trying to do too much, just fighting it off. Slider tried to get it inside instead, just out over the middle of the plate, and a simple fillet job to left by Joe.
So Darren had that info pretty quickly for us.
Yeah, he's special. He has got way better tools than we have.
So there's no way we can actually look that up, correct?
You can look at anything you want, Todd.
I'm being told there is.
Well, I'm on the MLB StatCast website. I'm not sure if it's updated, but I have not been able to find it. But I'm also
broadcasting a game.
Yeah. Got issues tweeting. Yeah.
You're doing a lot.
Donuts.
0-1 the count is 0.
Donut intake probability.
If you think you're distracted now, wait till you see the walk-in for Fernando Rodney at his entrance.
Are they going to start flashing LEDs everywhere?
It's seriously, it's crazy. Lights are down, music is up. It's one of the more unique walk-ins. He helped develop it when he came over here to the Twins. 0-2 the count. I assume he'll still come in. It's still a safe situation. Although, don't see anyone warming up right now in the Twins bullpen. 0-2 the count to Sano. Swing and a miss. Smith gets Sano swinging, but a run scores, a couple of walks, and a Joe Mauer RBI, and the Twins take a 4-1 lead to the ninth.
As we recap an historic week at Minute Maid Park. You'll get the story behind the rings and hear from Carlos Beltran. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded Fridays before pregame and re-airing all week long only on AT&T Sportsnet. TK.
All right, Julia, Astros need a little rally here, trailing the Minnesota Twins 4-1. Their winning streak here at Target Field is in danger as the Twins go to their closer, the veteran right-hander Fernando Rodney.
Yep, he's been around a while. We've talked about guys who are racking up tons of appearances. Fernando Rodney, one of those guys. He's also a guy who has a ton of saves in his career. He is here to help out this Twins bullpen, who we have talked about a lot having issues last season. He is here to fortify the back end of that bullpen and accrue even more saves. Opportunity for him right now coming in for the Minnesota Twins. 3 games this year, 2 2/3 innings pitched. He is 1 for 1 in saves and saves opportunities.
Only active pitcher with more than 300 career saves, and that 7-game win streak at Target Field on the line. Astros have not lost here since August 9th of 2016. Swept the 3-game set last year, won the first game of this series, but down 4-1 as Brian McCann will face Fernando Rodney. It'll be McCann, J.D. Davis, Jake Marisnick. If any of those guys get on, it'll be up to the top of the order after that. Rodney buckles his leg as he was about to deliver. That's a no pitch.
Got a little bit of a chuckle out of that. He's got a funky delivery. That left foot really isn't a traditional leg kick. Just kind of glides it along the ground. Caught a spike.
Would have been a balk had there been a runner on.
Fastball averages close to 94 miles an hour. Very good changeup and slider.
Used to only be fastball changeup, but he's added that slider in more recently. Fastball tonight's 90-91. Just missed the corner. A little extra on that one at 94. McCann trying to reach base. 0 for 3 tonight. A fly out, a pop up, and a strikeout. Called third strike. Rodney strikes out the first batter he sees. All fastballs to McCann.
Might have been looking for the off speed. Talked about that good changeup. He likes to use it to left-handed hitters. Fastball came back over that inside corner. Good movement.
Here's J.D. Davis. He's had some better at bats lately. Walk, a single to right. Also hit a ball to the track and right that was flagged down his last time up. Rodney living on the edge with the fastball. It's 0-1. JD down in the count 0-2. Rodney has thrown only fastballs tonight. 3-run lead, just going out and attacking. Extra on that one at 96. Davis fouls it away.
It's almost as if he's throwing get me over fastballs early and then really bringing the heat when he needs to with 2 strikes.
How about J.D. Davis using the opposite field all 3 times tonight? A couple of base hits and a fly ball to the warning track.
Let it get deep, fight it off, live to fight another day, keep guys on base. That's that running fastball that got McCann on the punch up, but this one catching a lot of the plate, and JD not trying to do too much, just shoots it the other way. Trying to get base runners late in ball games when you're down by multiple runs.
3 hits in his last 5 at bats for JD. After starting out the year 1 for 16. Here's Jake Marisnick. Astros need 1 more base runner to get on to bring the tying run to the plate. Jake has the lone RBI tonight for Houston, a single in the 2nd inning, scoring Josh Reddick. He's also struck out and flied out. Inside, it's 2-0. Two balls and a strike.
It could get real interesting if Jake gets on base and you start turning this lineup over, even on a cold night like tonight. Anytime you bring Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Correa to the dish, you're giving yourself a fighting chance, especially with runners on base.
In on the hands of Marisnick.
Yeah, that's letting it travel.
Jake with 5 RBIs on the season. Has a couple of home runs. In the dirt. 3-2. Rodney finally threw a changeup after a bunch of fastballs to start the inning.
Would you say Fernando Rodney is methodical when he's on the mound?
He has a little casual pace to himself, yeah. never in a rush. Up the middle, Dozier backhands. Brisnick safe. They get the force at second on a pretty play by the middle of the Twins infield. Houston Astros baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Butter Jack family. Dozier saving Fernando Rodney and the Twins from the tying run coming to the plate.
Yeah, that was a dazzling play. Not sure if I was more impressed by the glove flip or the fact that Escobar was able to catch it, spin around, and find second base.
Runner on the move, but Jake will have to come back on the foul ball.
From behind home plate, the backhand on the other side flips it to Escobar, catches it, and puts that right foot on the bag and proceeds to spin.
I think Jake goes down the line in a hurry. Jake takes second on the strike to Springer. George didn't like the call from Estabrook. It's 0-2. Astros down to their final strike. Their 7-game winning streak at Target Field is on the line. Change up low, it's 1-2. Jake Odorizzi, 6 innings of 1-run baseball. Worked around 5 walks. Also allowed 5 hits. Ryan Presley, a shutout 7th. Zach Duke, a shutout 8th. And now Fernando Rodney looking for the final out in this 4-1 game. Astros have left 8 men on base tonight. The Twins have left 11. Into center field, Buxton drifts back, has a play, and that'll do it. On a cold Tuesday night in Minneapolis, the Astros see their winning streak at Target Field come to an end as they lose for just the 3rd time this season. And their 7-game winning streak here in Minnesota is now gone as the Twins win the middle game of this 3-game series by the final score of 4-1. Day baseball tomorrow, but plenty more from Minnesota tonight, including the post-game show right around the corner.